Case 121. Welcome to another episode of Lindsay's Library. Today I'm going to be reading Chapter 39 of Maniac Magee, written by Jerry Spinelli. Chapter 39. During the night, March doubled back and grabbed April by the scruff of the neck and flung it another week or two down the road. When Maniac slipped silently from the house at dawn, the only way he'd ever managed to get away, March pounced with cold and nasty paws. But Maniac wasn't minding. The reunion had been ecstatic and tearful and non-stop happy. And inside, he was pure July. He was half a block up Sycamore before he stopped tiptoeing. Minutes later, he crossed Hector. The streets were dry. An occasional scrape of chewed rawhide was all that remained of the worms. Hours later, Russell and Piper spotted him 3 blocks off. "Maniac, you're alive! We thought they got you. We thought they slit your throat. We thought they strangled you and pulled your tongue out. We thought they chopped your head off and boiled you. Yeah, boiled you. And drunk your blood. Yeah, and drunk your brains. You don't drink brains, you moron meatball. Yeah, you do. Brains are like milkshakes, like Dairy Queen. You can drink 'em with a straw. You can hear 'em sloshing if you shake your head hard enough. Listen. Hey, get off my head. Hey, help!" They were off and running. Maniac couldn't help laughing, in spite of their twisted, ludicrous impressions of EastEnders. The concern and the tears in their eyes had been genuine. They had really missed him. They had really been afraid for him. 2 houses away, he could hear the thump, almost feel it, and Father George McNabb's voice. "Lay him down easy," I said. "Easy," followed by son John. "This easy enough?" Thump, followed by a string of curses from George McNabb that fried the cold morning like an egg. The living room was hazy with dust. At the back end of the dining room, they were bringing in the cinder blocks, George and John, and a handful of cobras, lugging and grunting them in from the backyard and dumping them onto the floor. Thump, thump. "Hey, kid." George McNabb was pointing through the haze. 3 months, and he still didn't know his tenant's name. "Get your lily hide over here. Start lugging these." Maniac waved. "Later. Gotta go." He shut the door and headed up the street. So they were really doing it. He had heard them planning it for weeks, making drawings, buying or stealing cement, trowels, a level, a pillbox, they called it. Once it was done, they'd be ready. Let the revolt begin. Let the rebels, as they called the EastEnders, come. Let 'em bust through the newly installed bars over the plywood on the windows. Let 'em bust through the steel door. They'll find themselves staring down the barrel of a little surprise. They squabbled over what the surprise should be. Uzi, AK-47, bazooka. "Why?" Maniac had asked Giant John one day. "Why what? Why are you doing all this?" "To get ready. What else?" "Well, what do you think's gonna happen?" "What's gonna happen?" Giant John swatted a squad of roaches from the kitchen table and sat down. "What's gonna happen is, one of these days, they're gonna revolt. Who says? Who cares who says? You think they're gonna make an announcement?" Maniac tried to picture Amanda and Hester and Lester and Bow Wow storming the barricades. "When's all this supposed to happen?" John shrugged. "You never know. Maybe this summer." He jumped up, grabbed a beer from the fridge, flipped it open. "They like to revolt in the summer. Makes 'em itchy. They like to overrun the cities. This time we'll be ready." And he told Maniac what he often imagined. Lying in bed, the blacks sweeping across Hector, one streaming summer night, torches, chains, blades, guns, war cries, marauding, looting, overrunning the West End. Climbing in through smashed windows, doors looking for whites, bloodthirsty for whites. Like Indians in the old days. Indians on a raid. That's what they are. Giant John nodded thoughtfully. Today's Indians. The cockroach strolling up his pant leg wasn't the only thing making Maniac feel crawly. He shook off the roach. He moved to the center of the kitchen to surround himself with as much space as possible. But other people, he said, I don't hear them talking about revolts. Nobody else wants to make a pillbox. Giant John tilted the last of the beer into his mouth. Maybe when we do, he grinned, they will. That had been weeks before, and now the pillbox was underway. No longer an idea in the backyard, but a reality in the dining room. Now there was no room that Maniac could stand in the middle of and feel clean. Now there was something else in that house, and it smelled worse than garbage and turds. And that ends chapter 39 of Maniac Magee, written by Jerry Spinelli. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you did, please be sure to like and subscribe. And other things you can do are you can check out my social media down in the description below, as well as my merch. And if you want to check out, there's also a link for my affiliate with Sosic Clothing. If you want to check out some of the things that they have to offer. And there's a promo code that's in the description below. That doesn't have an expiration date, just so you know. If you're a parent watching this or listening to this with your child. The rest of it's just my website and caption. Well, no. I don't do captions for these because the whole point of it is it's supposed to be sort of like an audiobook type thing. Anyways, thanks for watching, and above all else, stay fabulous.